Even though the old Liquid lineup may not be still together, in the last 3 months on Mirage against top 20 opponents, NAF was scoring a HLTV rating of 1.25, which is actually surprisingly higher than Nikos. Hey, I'm Smirky, and today I want to look at NAF and how he defaults towards ramp and palace on the T side of Mirage, so let's begin. Now, on some rare occasions, NAF may need to smoke top mid. You can do this by going next to this wall, aiming here, and left click throwing. This smoke will land top mid, denying any vision from window or any short players. But it is worth noting if you're going to throw the smoke, you will be a bit late towards ramp or palace. Once again, NAF is going to throw the exact same smoke, gets in the corner, aims here, and left click throws and heads over towards ramp. Now let's look at how NAF enters towards palace and his different peaks. At times, NAF may do a wide peek, NAF might do a quick tight peek and then fall back, or he might constantly repeat the angle to get information. Now, whenever NAF is going to do a wide peek, he's going to put his crosshair into a position where the CTs could be, then keeping his crosshair on point, he's going to wide swing to look for anyone who's potentially going to peek into palace. Once again, NAF is heading towards palace. He's going to put his crosshair in the correct position, but unfortunately in this round, Blue Wave is going to be waiting with an AWP. However, this peek can be really effective catching CTs who are pushing with a rifle, as they may not be expecting you to wide swing. Now let me show you some of NAF's quick peeks. What I mean by quick peek is that NAF will quickly peek out, he'll get the information, and he will fall off the angle, instead of re-peeking or wide swinging. In this round he's going to come over towards palace, it will get ready for any CTs potentially swinging behind this pillar, and once he feels comfortable he's going to throw this HE. This HE isn't really common to do, but it's actually really good. He's going to throw this HE towards the entrance, and if there was any CTs waiting, they're going to take a lot of damage, and the smoke from the grenade will block their vision, allowing NAF to have a great advantage. But once NAF clears the angle, he's going to rotate off. In this round, NAF is going to be shifting towards palace, so due to this, the CTs could be anywhere, so it's really important for him to clear his angles. He's going to clear the gap between the pillars, before moving to this position, and then quickly jiggling the entrance. Now let me show you some of NAF's constant re-peeks. In this round, NAF is going to clear his palace, making sure no CTs are holding this position. Once he gets close towards the entrance, he's going to peek out to make sure no one's holding, then he'll keep re-peeking for the information. If he gets contact, he can always fall off and challenge the fight. Once again, NAF is going to come towards palace. He's going to be really quiet, making sure the CTs towards the A bomb site can't hear him. And when he feels comfortable, he's going to do one quick peek, go back in, and then do another peek. The first peek may cause him to start shooting their gun, causing them to spray, and the second peek could allow NAF to go for the kill. But once he feels comfortable, he's going to throw this HE, and this HE will land on the balcony, dealing any damage to any CTs holding this position. Now let me show you about NAF's positioning. It is worth noting as a palace player, your main objective is to stop the A players from pushing into ramp or palace. So you're going to see some quite defensive positioning. In this round, NAF is going to come over to this wall, and he's going to hide behind it, and he's going to do some occasional jiggle peek. And he's also going to leave a bit of a gap towards his right side of the screen to make sure no CTs can't sneak past him. Now he's doing this because if the CTs were to push, it might catch him by surprise. So NAF is going to be pretty much doing this jiggle peek for around 40 seconds, until his team gets contact towards ramp, and he's going to look out. Now, another position you might want to play is this one right here. This position can be really good in catching the A players trying to peek behind the wall and towards palace, as they may not be pre-aiming you. It is worth noting if the CTs were to wide swing, it can be difficult to track and kill, due to the wall covering his vision. Now, if you're on an eco like NAF or you have an AK, you can use his positioning. In this round, he's going to go close to the wall, and he's going to be holding towards his head height, waiting for any potential A players to push. And luckily for NAF, Config is wanting to push. NAF is going to be holding at head level. However, once he sees Config's shoulder, he's going to aim down towards the body, where Config will crouch peek in towards NAF. The reason why NAF wanted to put his crosshair a bit down is because if the CTs were to crouch peek, you could get an easy kill like that. And if Config did a normal peek, NAF could spam his deagle and potentially get 3 bullets inside Config's stomach. However, now that NAF's killed Config, NAF really wants the AK, but he doesn't want to rush it. So because of this, he's going to Molotov the balcony to prevent any CTs from being able to peek towards him. And from here, he can safely grab the AK, go for a quick peek, and fall back towards palace. Now, let me show you how NAF plays towards ramp. Commonly, he likes to go towards ramp and see if he can go for a quick peek. By doing this, he might be able to get an opening kill for his team. So in this round, he's going to put his back against the wall and peek towards the bench. And if there was any CTs running across the bench trying to go towards connector, NAF could have a potential free kill waiting for him. But he doesn't want to hold for too long, so he's just going to fire a random bullet and then fall off the angle. Once again, NAF is running towards ramp. He's going to throw this flash, and this flashbang will land right in front of Tetris, allowing him to peek towards the bench and Tetris for any potential blind CTs. Now if you and your AWP have a really good spawn, you can use this trick. NAF is going to crouch in front of ramp and Stewie's going to jump on top of his head. It's important that you stay at crouch or else your AWP won't be able to have vision towards sight. Once Stewie jumps on top of his head, he has really good vision towards bench and has a way higher chance of getting an opening kill compared to NAF and his rifle. But they don't want to stay in this position for too long, so they're going to dismantle it and fall off. Now this spot is the position that NAF likes to play the most. He's going to head over towards this ledge above ramp and he's going to hold this position right here. He's holding this angle because if there were any CTs pushing towards the ramp, they could potentially see his feet if he was playing directly above it. But since he's towards this lamp right here, they won't be able to see his feet towards the ramp, so they might blindly walk into his crosshair. Once again, NAF is going to play in the same position, however he is going to be a bit closer. This could be because Liquid thinks that Astralis is going to force buy or eco and might push ramp with their weak weapons, so it's potentially better for NAF to hold this off angle. Now something else that NAF likes to commonly do is to spam the ramp smoke. In this round NAF is going to head over towards ramp, he spots the smoke and he starts spamming it. You can see that he's mainly aiming towards the right side of the smoke, and this is because it's quite common for players to play right next to the smoke and hold towards Palace, as a bit of an off angle. So NAF could potentially get an opening kill for his team just by spamming the smoke, but he will do a final burst towards bench before falling off. In this round NAF is going to be playing towards his favourite position, he's going to drop down and spam the smoke again, mainly aiming towards Tetris. Now let me talk about NAF switching his positioning up. There's quite a few scenarios where NAF will go to ramp for example and then go towards Palace later, or vice versa. In this round NAF is wanting to fake the A bomb site, so he's going to flash ramp like this, go on top of the stairs and then Molotov sandwich, and then flash ramp again. He's doing this because he wants to create presence towards ramp to make the CTs think that it's potentially an A execute, and now because the CTs know that there's a play towards ramp, NAF is going to go towards Palace and wait for any lurk kills. Now, as shown before, in this round, NAF is going to throw a HE and peek towards the entrance, but after the nade, NAF is going to rotate out of Palace and head towards T-spawn. And he's doing something similar again, he's creating a bit of Palace presence to discourage the CTs from pushing. In this round, NAF is creating some presence towards ramp, he's going to go for some quick information before falling off towards T-spawn. Now, it is worth noting if you are switching towards different positions, there's a high chance of the CTs potentially getting a timing and pushing into that area. In this round, NAF was over towards ramp and he's going to jump over the railing towards Palace. And you can see when he gets towards Palace, he's going to be really diligent in clearing his angles one by one, making sure if the CTs did push, they're going to get hard cleared. When he gets towards the main bit of Palace, he's going to make sure he's going to clear his pillars, then hard clear this corner, which is actually a really common spot for CTs to push if they aggressed up. And from here, he'll just jiggle the entrance. And because NAF spends a lot of his time towards Palace or ramp, there are quite a few opportunities for him to lurk out. One of the best reasons for him to lurk out is because of the bomb. In this round, NAF is going to be waiting towards Palace. However, he's going to decide to push up and start clearing his angles. He'll clear jungle, before clearing towards Palace and sandwich, Tetris, then the ladder. And now from this position, NAF knows that LAKEY is the A player, and Liquid's going to go towards B. So due to this, NAF is going to be waiting around Palace, waiting to see if LAKEY is going to save his weapon, and potentially walk right into NAF. So Liquid will manage to get their way into the bomb site, and once they do, NAF will start beginning to lurk out. Just like before, he's going to clear his angles one by one, really carefully and silently, so LAKEY can't hear him. However, in this round, it's more of a passive lurk, as NAF is not going to fully commit and fully search out LAKEY. Once again, Liquid's got the bomb down and NAF is looking towards Palace. LAKEY's trying to save inside of Palace, but NAF catches him off guard with a beautiful headshot. And from here, Astralis knows that NAF is towards Palace, so NAF doesn't want to peek into them as it's a bit of an unfair advantage, so he decides to run away. Now, another reason for you to look out is because your team is getting contact towards ramp or Palace. In this scenario, NAF is towards Palace and his team gets contact towards ramp, so due to this, NAF is going to push out really aggressively and loud unlike last time. He's going to make sure he clears his angles before finding the final kill onto jungle. Once again, Liquid gets contact towards ramp, so as a reaction, Liquid will want to speed this up and start pushing onto the site. NAF is going to molly under bulk, just because if there was a CT there, they'll have to swing out, where Grim and Fallen are waiting. And then once he throws that Molotov, he's going to throw this smoke. This smoke can actually be pretty powerful, just because he has little gaps and it could allow him to get out of Palace safely. You can see he's going to use the gaps to his advantage, try to look for any fights, and he'll start using it to creep out. And once he gets towards the right side, he'll have another gap which he can use to exploit. From here, he has a vision towards jungle, and if BlameF were to swing out, NAF could get a free kill onto Blame. But unfortunately for Liquid, it's just going to turn into a complete mess and a round win for Astralis. Now it is worth noting if NAF needs help towards mid, at times he will fall back towards T-spawn and make sure the CTs don't push behind Liquid's backs. In this round he's going to return back towards T-spawn, he'll have a quick jump peek, and from here you can see he has vision towards ramp and palace. So he knows it's clear and he will rotate towards B safely. In this round NAF is going to fall off from palace and he's going to head out towards T-spawn. And from here, he's going to be really static, waiting for any CTs to push. It is worth noting from this position, it is a bit of an off angle for the CTs, as they may not be expecting you to crouch in this corner. And as the CTs push, you will only be able to see their heads. So you're going to need to be hitting those headshots. But if you don't feel comfortable hitting the headshots, you can always uncrouch when you spot them and go for the fight. If you do want to be a bit more dynamic, you can do this instead. In this round, NAF is going to be using the stairs to his advantage by occasionally checking towards palace and ramp, and it's worth noting he's not constantly re-peeking towards the stairs. He's doing it occasionally, making it really hard to predict for the CTs when NAF could pop up. When watching through NAF's demo, I noticed that he's quite patient. He's more than happy to sit on an angle for the majority of the round. He's really diligent. When he enters an unknown area, he understands what angles he needs to clear for himself and the team. And he's also really aware. He understands when he needs to hold his team's backs, or when he needs to create a fake on the opposite side. If you have any player or positions you want me to break down next, feel free to put it in the comments below and I'll have a look. Perhaps you want to know Vitality's A fake pistol on Vertigo on the T side? Well, I made a video on my Twitter which you can check out in the link in the description. Apart from that, thanks for watching the video. See you in a bit.